What is up? Welcome to the stream where I am once again playing Limbus Company. I was doing a bit of grinding beforehand, so I'm quickly not the right thing. Yeah, I might as well do that. Use lunacies. Purchase. Inferno. Surrendering witnessing. Let's get right into it. Also, I think there might be a slight problem with my mic. Because at the very least on my end, I am hearing a hell of a lot of reverb. Pedals. Right up. Entering Donghon now. Despite some trouble on the way, it seems that we managed to arrive at our destination mostly unharmed. Dangyun, Honglu's old home. Oh, we're running out of time. Faust, I'm sure you understand the most important part of my plan, right? It is unlikely to be a pleasant sight to behold. Remember, the plan hinges on your patience, everyone. You have to remain calm and wait, even if they freak out and actually try to kill you. There is a chance that they might panic and immediately order for the sinners to be executed on the spot. However, it is unlikely that the person whose responsibility is to judge the next family hierarchy of Hongjin will make such a hastily response. Exactly, everything's going to be fine as long as the decider has a capacity for patience. Execution? What? Great, I'll follow up with a subsequent contact once you've safely completed the first round of the evaluation. After that cryptic exchange with Faust, leaped gracefully off the moving palanquin as Heathcliff murmured in his half-sleep. We watched her grow smaller and smaller as the distance between us grew, but what really caught our eye were the scattered humans that the restructuring day had evicted from their homes. They were trying to drag their broken bodies off the road, sobbing and writhing. This is horrible. There isn't anything we can do to help, but that sense of futility and powerlessness will negatively impact the efficient performance of your professional obligations. Repeated exposure to similar stimuli is recommended to desensitize oneself to the sensation. I'm gonna quickly grab a bottle of water from my mini fridge. Anyway, in not so layman's terms, grow some balls, Sinclair. So, Honglu, how do you feel about going back home after so long? Sinclair changed the subject. I don't know. Don't even need to ask him, lad. I know it can't be easy. As for me, blimey, I hesitated almost 1,000 times, wondering if I should just turn around and leave. What if I knocked on those gates, but she... Heathcliff came to a suffocating stop, his voice trembling lightly as he did so. The other sinners stared at him in confused silence. What is it? Why'd you stop in the middle of it? Oh, well, look at those cool windows. I think we can swap them out with our other images. Sigh. I quickly tried to swerve from the subject again, but all I got was Ishmael's scolding glare that seemed to wordlessly tell me not the time. I remember what happened each time one of us returned to the part of the city that held our memories of happiness, anger, sorrow, and joy. And as we traveled, I remember that we were all looking at scenery only they could see. Rhodia, you awkwardly tried to best to crack jokes. Sinclair, you tried your best to hold back your wailing tears again and again. Isong, you shut your eyes for a long time. Ishmael, you couldn't stop talking to yourself while glaring down at the lake surface. And Heathcliff, I saw you scared and anxious, shaping your hair over and over again. You've really been watching us closely, huh? Did we? Spring leaves, petals scattered, and all shall turn around to find the doors to which they belong and return forevermore. I think everyone has a small mound of petals they gathered for themselves. I don't... Why would anyone collect something like that? Then you simply haven't discarded them yet. I'm actually going to increase my pngtuber a bit. Like this. There we go. A little bit more noticeable. Like the tiniest amount. There was still a transparent smile on his face, but I think I saw a burrowing, sinking shadow behind it. Oh. The moment I felt that, a similar light came into view, and I immediately understood what was going on. The golden bow is close, and it is resonating with Honglu's spasms. They watch the flower burial of mine and mock away. Who lays me to rest once I die? When spring passes, youth passes as the wrinkles shear it all away. Flowers pass, people pass, and ignorance they remain to wherever they hile. Why do you always recite these strange, complicated poems, Dayu? There are plenty of ways to remain young, aren't there? Because we need to see the snow in our hair to know that spring will pass. Why are you cleaning up those fallen petals? Just float them away downstream. You'll get dirt on your hands. And be so wasteful? How will we hear the sound of falling rain once we sweep all the petals away? This is a remembrance of a rainy day, so I am going to treasure it. Besides these beautiful blossoms, I'll get so dirty in the stream if we let them float away. So please don't scatter all the petals from your embrace, big bro Bayo. Honglu. Is there anyone you miss here at Dongjian? No, there isn't. But how's that possible? Isn't your family there and a bunch of other people who are so important to you? Well, as long as I believe them to be doing well, there isn't any need for me to yearn to see them again. Do you still treasure your petals? No, I scattered them all the day I departed my home. So my rainy days are now silent. I see. You saw that, didn't you, Dante? You saw my memory. I did. Yeah. Honglu laughed. He wasn't surprised or angry that I peered into his memories. Do you want to tell us about your parents, or... You talked about your grandmother pretty often, right? What kind of people are they? Sinclair added carefully. Maybe he wasn't trying to commiserate tension, as that connection might have been we were headed to his home to meet his family anyway. Oh, they are both very wise in the ways of the world. Grandmother always treated me preciously. So did my mother and my father. Ah, we're almost there. I can see the garden. This is one massive garden. We still have some time before we get to the main buildings. I remember the days when deer and heron would frolic out here in the garden. Well, I can see myself taking a long walk around here. I'd take a whole day and then some to cover the entire garden. I usually lingered only around my own room. It's dangerous to stray too far after all. It's dangerous? Why? There's the stranger danger, getting lost, getting targeted. Besides, it's very dark at night. Well, that ain't a very big deal, is it? Kids run around, scrap their faces on the branches, trip and eat shit on the pavement all the time. I'm sure you would have run freely around the garden, Heathcliff, but it's important to always be careful. I need to turn the heater back on. When I was 5, someone had lathered a deadly poison on a random tree branch. Poison? I had a little brother who liked to frolic like you did, Heathcliff. But by some coincidence he happened to be running around the same tree that had its branches lathered with poison. What has transpired thereafter? I'm sure he got better. Darren told me he'll be just fine after 100 nights rest. And because Darren was always so smart, I'm sure it happened exactly as she said. Entering Grand Flower Hall now. It wasn't long before our arrival to a new place within Dongyan was made known by the palanquin-bearer's sonorous announcement. More buildings. What's Do Hunt mean anyway? Grand Flower Hall, so I think you could call it a place for banquets. So you host banquets in this village-sized venue? Isn't that a lake over there? Nope, it's a pond. Pond? Damn. Once we arrive, we will find ourselves a welcome party from Jishun and me. Rodia, you should be able to stuff yourself to your heart's content this time. It's been a while, hasn't it? I don't think I've been this excited in a long time. You want to join the street, girl? Whoa, is that a ship over there? You have a ship? Yep, we'd sometimes go out boating. Oh, and Jishun's building is right across the pond. You each got a building of your own. Yes, we do. So when I first departed from Hongyan, I found the concept of an entire family living under the same roof so fascinating. Alas, would be quite the challenge for thy family to see one another. And that's exactly why we each get a building. Are we even talking about the same thing here? Alack, for woe, we could have merrily enjoyed our vacations at young Honglu's residence all along. That wouldn't have worked, Don Quixote. When I left home, grandmother and the elders really impressed upon me that the footsteps shall eventually bring you home when the time is right. Thus, witness, and only witness, as much as the world as you may before you make your return. I was wondering when that would be, but time really slipped through our fingers, and just like that, it brought me here. Most sinners did not welcome their turns. Some of them were even terrified of it. Sometimes they had to confront what they'd been avoiding all their lives. And for some, important things that were once forgotten or lost were waiting for their return. But their reluctance is really not surprising at all. I don't think I'd welcome an opportunity to get my memories back with open arms if it was thrust upon me out of nowhere, especially if I were getting dragged there against my will. But despite the fact that it could couldn't be more obvious than his turn had arrived. Honglu was as tranquil as he always was. He's always been able to remain aloof no matter what happens. Maybe it wouldn't be different this time either. But even so, can I judge that so hostility? Young Master Bayo of the G family has returned. Again, with the Punk Bearer's deep, full-throated pronouncement of our arrival, the door opened. Here we are, you must all be so tired. Come in, come in. Leaving behind the sinners who were still reeling from the astronomical level of opulence at display, Honglu bounced lightly off the phalanx and moseyed into the building. Quite the light-footed steps he takes, unhindered by excitement nor trepidation. Right. Rich boy's got nothing to fear, cause he used to this kind of poshness, that's all this is. Verily, this may be stubble expression of that teensy part of him that longs to see his family again. I find myself faced by overwhelming vastitudes and objects to great magnitude. Just how many servants do they have? Oh, grandmother will visit us once Jiao arrives. Jihor. The banquet will start then, I think. Jihor? The Jihor refers to the time between 19 and 21. This is a unique time system used in certain regions of the East. In addition, it would be best to remember that Honglu's grandmother Jimu is the hierarch of Dangyun. It would not be an incorrect assessment to say her as the ruler of Hongyun. Your relative is the head of a wing, I see. Yes, though she'll be handing that over to the next heir pretty soon. You know, what does she seek to achieve by abdicating at this precious time? Otis, as she probably saw an ulterior motive behind every move, inquired. She'd been saying that her time would eventually come, that she'd carried this responsibility for too long. I bet she'd be pretty shocked to hear that you'll be taking part in the family hierarchy war. I don't know about that. Maybe she'll take it well. There's never been a reason for me to bother participating, but there wasn't a reason for me not either. Hey, there's Yishun, and way over there. Looks like they both arrived safely. Yishun, who arrived before us, shot us the briefest glance before looking away with exaggerated disinterest. Yishun just turned her back on us. Well, it didn't take long for things to become super awkward. Oh, we must capture this opportunity to seat ourselves adjacent to young Yishun. Too late, we are forever banned from even getting anywhere near her. Yet, wherefore? We are no longer Yishun's faction. Her hostility is to be expected. Things have changed. Us versus them, in group versus out group. Deception and treachery are a natural part of war. Any ally of today may as well become an enemy tomorrow. And that's a funny way to say I don't have any friends. Why did I just get a message? Didn't get anything. Wait, why isn't streamer mode on Discord? I don't really mind. Why do I keep getting pings? What did you just... Oh, they're my parents. Hold on, we're just talking. We're just walking right up to him. Blimey, at least tell us their names. Our father's name is Yehung of the G family, and in Dangyun, they call my mother Lady Wang. I greet you for the first time since my departure. Bayu of the G family has returned home. You're early. Bayu, dear Bayo, it has been too many years. To see you again after so long, it is so good to see your face. I didn't know should ever say. The father, geez, your eyes darted nervously between us and Honglu. Meanwhile, his mother gingerly brings him in for a careful embrace, as though she was in the presence of something so utterly deeply moving it was more than the pure joy of reunion. So they're Honglu's parents. Thank you so much for your hospitality. You have certainly spared no expense. So who are these people you've come in here with? Well, there aren't too many of them. They are my friends I made out in the world. At least he's not introducing us as his lackeys, like a certain someone I know. Boy, that's a... Honglu's mother slowly turned around to look at us. I mean, it's a weird thing to say, but somehow it's almost felt like she was looking down at each one of us, one by one. I'm so glad to meet you all. Bayu's always been such a stubborn child. I'm sure he was quite the handful to accompany you on your journey. I hope you can still embrace him despite every... Stubborn Honglu? Whatever it was she said, they didn't seem too happy to hear that. Dear Bayo, why do you allow your friends to call you by that name? What of your noble blessed name bestowed upon you by the revered our elders? Wait, what's going on with her? Honglu reached out and gently yet indifferently held his mother violently trembled hands. Of course I would, mother. Because the name is too noble indeed. Yes, it is not a name that any rabble should be heartlessly speaking. Of course, of course. You also have any old name and a new name? Well, don't you remember back in P Corp we called Honglu Young Master Bayo? Also remember how he announced himself before that duel on the day we arrived at H Corp? He introduced himself as Bayu of the G family. I thought it was a pseudonym back then though, given the circumstances. Well, it ain't like us calling your real name's gonna cheapen it nobility or whatever. It's just a name, so you can say it as many times as you want and it won't depreciate it whatever value it has. Oh, but some people do actually believe that it does, I suppose. It was wise of you to refrain from using that name. Right, to let your precious name be known among the plebeians populace is to encourage knives in the dark to strike even here too. It is as your mother says, were your true name to be made known, any individual with a passing connection to H-Corp would have easily connected you to Hongyun. It is said that most names are repositories of their keeper's origins. In the eastern regions of the city, when the parents name their child, they imbue them with meaning. It carries their wishes for their children's place and use in the world. What's your name mean? My name is a culmination of wishes, not only those of my parents, but those of many more. It means that I was born within a precious jade. G. Bayo. Or for Honglu's better. Please try to whisper. I'll carry the rich boy wherever I want to, however I want to. I'll call the rich boy whatever I want to. If I'm even forced to call him young Master Bayo or some servant shit like that, I'd rather take a punch or two to the gut guide. I could feel the horrible gaze of the servant staring at us. I don't mind, so please continue to call me Honglu if you want. Please seat yourselves, honored guests. The food will be served soon. What is all of this? Do you actually expect us to eat all this? I don't think I've ever been intimidated by food before. There was quite literally a mountain of dishes on the table. I was starting to wonder if the purpose of these dishes was more to flaunt their wealth than to feed us reasonable amounts of food. What a feast. I can ask for refills, right? Yes. Anyway, what's up with those empty seats over there? Are we still killing time for some guest to arrive? I don't think so. They're probably seats for my older siblings somewhere in Gangneon. They probably just didn't want to attend. This is a banquet to welcome me after all. I'm sure they believe it's a waste of time to attend. Man, they'd better be on some really busy schedule to miss this. Jemu, venerated by her presence, grace us. Jemu, venerated by her presence, graces us. With the announcement, uttered silence quickly devoured the busy hubbub of the banquet. Those who were sitting quietly rose to their feet and bowed, while those who were standing knelt down on all fours, their backs bent too low that their foreheads were nearly touching the floor. Oh. Don't really think I want to mess with those guards. And the woman walked out from between them, the crowd itself parting down the middle for her sheer presence. Oh, there's grandmother. Was Honglu's grandmother the family hierarch of H-Corp and its chief executive director? Jemu presence was at once warm, gentle, yet immense and overwhelming, like a personification of an insurmountable mountain. We are graced by your presence, venerable Jemu. We are greeted by your presence, venerable Jemu. Well, should we bow to? I don't think you could bow any lower with your face halfway in the bowl, so you should be fine, probably. She's surrounded by Heishio too, I think. Guys, everything's gonna be fine as long as we don't do anything stupid. As everyone was answered and humbled. Only Honglun looked straight at Jemu without bowing. Then he got up from his seat and walked towards her. It has been a while, grandmother. Please ascend, young Master Bayo. It seems that a special permission was needed to even stand next to her, as Honglu was allowed to approach her only after servants gave him the go-ahead. Little Bayo, you must have worked and toiled tirelessly on your journey home. Not at all, grandmother. I was able to learn so many new things thanks to everyone who treated me so nicely. Had you sought to master the art of learning, no master, regardless of pursuit, would have been out of our reach. You could have learned so much in the halls of erudition from them. Yet the world taught from the sheets of paper are simply that, words of paper. We wish that you, dear Bayu, would learn more of the secular world. Do not let flow betwixt your fingers the time that is given to you. I know this opportunity was more than what I deserve, grandmother. I appreciate your return all the same, that you have destined to return before me at my abdication of the great responsibility. Verily appears that young Master Lu shined onto limbuscompany as Grand Turismo of Short. What's that? Can the two of you stop babbling with your mouths full? Stretch. Ow. I guess I'll just do some. Young master of family most immense art of send out of the world on a grand tour. Thus coined was this precious Grand Turismo. If thou will for thee commence their public achievement. Do Tonki Hoke. Purpose is to learn the varied experiences that cannot be gained from books, to grow familiar with the world outside. I might actually turn down my heater real quick. Hello, Millie. Are you a happy girl? Are you enjoying the ear I gave you? Are you enjoying the ear, Millie? Millie. Who's your greedy cavalier? I hear that you have met with Yishun in the world not long ago. I have. A bright child she is, well prepared to take on the challenge of the family hierarchy evaluation, I presume. I agree, I am sure Jijun will wisely overcome the trials. Indeed. Have you paid visit to the Reverend Elders yet? I will soon. Lady Wang ascends here as well. With your mercy, Jaemu, of course. Honglu's mother hurried up to where Jimu stood. It must cause your heart great distress to have your one and only son depart his home to wander the world beyond the hedges. Of course not, Jaemu. Oh, I am simply so glad that my son Bayer has returned as a man who can now more than carry his own weight, and unharmed too. Thus fair, dear Bayer, I don't mean to rush, but when are you planning to depart again? I'm gonna quickly plug that in, and plug that in. Nothing has been decided yet, Mother. I see. I am simply concerned that where you stay here, will your stay here be prolonged? Perhaps you might fade before your duties are completed. Complete your duties and return soon so that the agreement Jaemu has so graciously made for us is fulfilled. Indeed. Lose not, forget not. You are our family's one and only Jade. Dear Bayer, our peerless treasure, tarry not over long in this mundane world. Leave when the time is right and fulfill your worth. Okay, grandmother. Mother. Man, I'm just gonna be reading for a really long time. You know, I'm just gonna quickly do something. I'm gonna do some cringe. Yep, I've committed a cringe. I will level up you with the cringe I have committed. I just want to have some max level ruptures. I do not have the Faust, mainly because I'm saving up for Walpurgis. We've been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different districts. Neat. Wonder if we'll go to A, B, or C Corp. I thought the sinners were doomed to chew uncomfortably through this incredibly awkward meal, but Jaemu and her retinue of Heishio left the banquet hall quite promptly after that exchange. It was as though they had no more reason to remain here. It is odd that they should inquire Honglu of his departure plans on the very welcome of his reunion. Right, one moment it appears like they really care about him then. The appearance of that care for one's own child was also quite distinct and unusually compared to the typical display of emotional intimacy expressed in average households. Hey, Bayer. That's when an unfamiliar chipper voice popped joyfully into our conversation. Why didn't you come see me first? I've been staying in the same building ever since you departed here, you know. Oh, big sis. I'm not even gonna attempt that. It's been so long. You've come all the way to my welcome banquet to fill a seat. I appreciate that. Had I known that you'd be coming home today, Bayu, I would have summoned everyone I could from my family to see you too, big bro. Han's really been itching to know how you've been doing. Yeah, sure he was. Jishin, who'd been sitting in complete silence from the entire banquet, muttered quietly to herself. Who else have you greeted since you arrived today, Bayu? My parents and me, Shimu. Really? So I'm your first then? He made a cheerful remark before leaning close up to his eyes. Your jade is always so glimmering and pristine, Bayu. Look, I made myself a necklace in the same color as your eye and wore it every single day to constantly remind myself of you. Well, do you see it? Oh, you have. Thank you for remembering me. So are you gonna introduce her to us? Why couldn't we just let that nice reunion play out, man? Rhodia stepped forward, unable to stand the curiosity. Oh, Hi, I'm Bishu of the Yu family. I have a very profound relationship with dear Bayu here. A very profound relationship? He is my betrothed, and I to him, I'll say that pretty profound, What? It's nothing to be surprised about. There's profound relationships can be established effortlessly in the simple exchange of agreements between our elders. You could at least give us a hint. But I wouldn't be married until I leave Limbus Company, though. I just thought that it wasn't relevant enough to share. So sorry about the about overhearing earlier, but you guys are Bayu's friends, right? I've been so curious to hear what kind of life Bayu's lived out there. Can you share some tales of your journey with me? Don't have stories for kids, Q. Why? But I love stories about bloodshed. One of Big Sister's... Why is he calling her his sister? She's... I know... You know what? I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. Pastimes was hurting, creepy stories of urban legends. Then maybe I'll share some. What about everyone else? I love adventure stories. Be careful what you wish for. I beseech thee to find a seat, for I shall regard thee with a tale in which an adventure of most wondrous valor unfolds. Brace thyself for this particularly ordeal and terrifying tale. Feature a big scaly bear lurking in a cave. Huh. If you've finished with your meal, why don't we all go back to our residences? You're so angry again, Shishun. Last I heard, you lost much of your followers in a large battle, didn't you? I'm so sorry, I used more than 3 handkerchiefs, weeping my tears away upon hearing that news. So the Yu family's heard it too, huh? You're not worried, but that's irrelevant to what I've brought to the family hierarchy war. Always a big fan of your confidence, Yishin. It's a good look, you know. Oh, that reminds me, you better watch your back, big sis. Looks like Big Brother Bayu's learned how to sink a knife into your back with that same careful smile. What'd she mean by knife people in the back? I just had a small falling out with Yishun, that's all. Yishun must have been trying to get you on her side, huh? No wonder she wanted you on her side. On her team, Bayu's always excellent at whatever he does, without stressing out or losing that happy smile. It just kinda worked out that way. I guess he can be a bit irritating like that, huh? Such kind of people sort rare indeed do exist. That reminds me, do you by any chance run into Big Bro G? I haven't, but they have. That's good. She placed her hand over her chest as though she had just survived an incredible, dangerous accident before eyeing us anxiously. So, what happened? I do know that he was trying to ally with Shiyua. I mean, it didn't seem like anyone else was viewing that as an alliance other than Shiyua himself, but it must have been a pretty open secret amongst the candidates that Jiakui was trying to ally with Shiyua. They cut Big Bro Yua's head off when he was with us. Oh my, horizontally or vertically? Horizontally. So this is the third time, huh? Yu's really incorrigible. He never knows when to zip it and sit down. Well, Big Brother Q, I had a feeling he'd be here when the family hierarchy war begins. Everyone's in Dongyun's hard. That creepy song from the backstreets, you know? Gosh, things get so awkward and hostile here at Dongyun every time there's any mention of him. Well, I guess it's fortunate that he wouldn't be coming after me once the competition begins. And why is that? Because I'm simply too charming and adorable to kill outright, of course. Oh wait, she's gonna die. Besides, whatever Big Brother Q's goal are, they probably have nothing to do with the Xia family. I can see that. Oshlu took a step towards Honglu and leaned in close to his face. Do you smell my fragrance still, Beiyu? You have never reeked, big sister Bochiai. Beiyu, I've always been and will always be residing at Ninja Plain Court. Promise to pay me a visit before you leave. With that, she gracefully walked out of the room. Well, how about we all start heading back? This place can get pretty dark around high hour. Why'd you leave? She's just a childhood friend. I call her Big Sis since she's older than me. It's just something we do here when our friend's a bit older. She also one of the very few in Dongjin who was nice to me. So where should we head to now? Good question. Just going by the scale of everything in here, it should be safe to expect something really rightsy, right? You're my guest, so you should be able to stay at my building with Dangyun. It's within walking distance from here. We should be there in no time, even on foot. So we're finally gonna get a combat encounter. Knew it! And who am I bringing for the fight? Rupture. Rupture. Change you out for you. And then you're the first to be switched. Then after that, you. And you. I thought I had him leveled up. What? I remember using him in fight. Huh? Did I use a support version? No. Yeah. Anyway, then you, then you, then you. All the people that are actually gonna fight at level 50. Ta-da, here we are. That was a pretty long walk, still technically within walking distance, but this place is called Jeu's Red Court. This room was made from the most aromatic flower tree within H Corp. Try taking a deep breath and you can smell the lovely fragrance of flowers, aroma pervading, spreading from the tip tip of your nose. It's unique to this building. Very much so. It is an unseen and invisible thing, yet it remains such of its pleasant redolence. This place is huge too. You've been living here alone all along? Yes, I was told to stay in a large room, but I preferred this place more. It has been long, young master. Siren reporting. Oh hey, have you been well, Yiren? Exin. Yes, I am as I have always been. Exin? watched us emotionlessly as our rowdy crowd poured into the yard. Her expression did not change even when she saw Honglu, who presumably hasn't been home in quite some time. Are you young master's guests? I will guide them to their room. Please follow me. Now that we're here, I've got to pay a visit somewhere. I'll be back soon, though. To where wilt thou journey alone? Allow us to accompany thee. It's okay. Just one of my ways to say hello and pay my respects to the elders. So it'll be better if I go there alone. This way. Well, I guess I could say this about every operation, but the weight of our mission doesn't really sink in until we actually there. You're talking about the family hierarchy war, right? Yeah, the other candidates have been preparing for this for years, while we have, what, an overnight? I don't know, I'm procrastinating until the last minute kinda gal. Man, I did not need to be insulted by Rhodia. This is not the first instance in which we are demanded to work throughout a task in an unfavorable, inadequate situation. Questionable question. Why does it matter? Our goal isn't to claim the throne of the family hierarchy anyway. A few hours ago. Well, isn't it such a relief that our goal isn't to come first place in family hierarchy war? Dost thou meanest to say that we needn't be the first? Yeah, obviously, why would we want a sinner to become the head of H-Corp? Would it not provide a much more reliable means of control to plan an individual of this company at the highest seat of a wing instead of letting an unfamiliar individual? There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, guys. Besides, LBC still has much left to do as the LBC. Then would I be right to assume that this isn't a winner-takes-all kind of situation here? Do other candidates get something in participation too? Anyone who places within the top 10 will gain the right to take one item of their choice from the family treasury. Of course, the one who places the highest goes first. But we're going to have to come in at least second place in order to ensure that we obtain the item we're looking for. Now that's weirdly insulting, Thod. Got it. Why don't we just shoot for the top anyway? Your confidence seems to have gone through the roof since our last operation together. Well, we did go through a lot of crazy stuff. Anyways, care to guess what's deep inside Hongyun Ganchuan treasury? A golden bow. The golden bow. Right on, buried in the middle of all kinds of other treasures, along with any knowledge of its true value. So, Faust, what did Manager Sorty share with you as our strategy for this first round? I very much wish to know that as well, for the suggestion of mutual understanding seems to exist exclusively between Miss Faust and Sorty. The first round of this family hierarchy evaluation test would what the descendants have prepared and brought for the elders of Hongyun. What's the descendants have prepared, huh? So this must be what Jixian's been referring to this whole time. Yes, to be free from aging and death, immortality. Each candidate is to present an answer before the judge to demonstrate their idea of true immortality. Right, so what's the answer to the true immortality then? Not even Faust can answer that. Then what are we even doing here? But we may be able to demonstrate a facsimile of immortality, or at least pretend as though we are close to the answer. Given that they are the ones who are seeking that very answer, they will not disqualify us, Honglu to be exact, from the competition. I see they will cling on to whatever clue they can get their hands on, so we'll be using that deception. Precisely. That important-looking old bat Jimu favors him, don't she? Maybe she'll give I'm bonus points or something. So that's what we'll be using Honglu for. That is. Yes, you're right. It is my turn to be used. Well, where'd you get back? Honglu nonchalantly chimed into the conversation, having slipped in between us unnoticed. You're back pretty soon, huh? Unfortunately, what Otis just said could sound quite cross depending on how you cut it. Honglu, you don't mind what she just said. But why would I mind it? My use is to be ticked to participating in the hierarchy war, and the only option for obtaining the golden bow in H-Corp. She didn't say anything wrong. Your use. Well, if you'll be using me, hopefully this leads to an outcome we can all be happy with. Verily, such outcomes would be best, yet young Chiyun has already exhaled with great gusto out of her nostrils before turning away from our party when our eyes meet. Well, Jishin. Honglu's eyes twinkled briefly as though he was shifting into a dream. I didn't think it was possible for me to be friends with Yishun again. We're back to not being on speaking terms again, but it was as though I'd gone back in time, back to when we were both children. But we can't go back to the past. What did you say? Are you drunk or on something? Did you really just say that to me? What a stupid thing to ask. Stupid thing of me to ask. You've never been drunk in your life. Your mind's always been so damn clear. None of this matters to you, does it? Even when I get angry at you or whenever I shout at you like this, none of it gets to you, does it? Just what happened to you that day? How can someone become so... Jishin, forget it, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. It's my fault for expecting to have at least one normal sibling in this messed up family. In that memory, Honglu was wearing a quiet smile even before her hushed anger. But don't you want to be friends with her again? At the end of all things, these connections between people, they're just moments. Ephemeral things. So what I want doesn't matter. Honglu. A sinner so aloof, so detached, that it feels as though he's always floating through the clouds. I once thought that was just the kind of guy he was, someone who just happened to be above everything that happened around us, instead of just another messed up person with messed up problems of their own. But slowly and gradually I had begun to realize that there was something off about him under the surface. Honglu, about participating in the family hierarchy war. Do you really not feel anything about it? Have you completely excluded yourself from it?
그냥 그런 거구나라고 생각하고 있어요.
I don't, and I have. It's just the way things worked out, right? Executive manager, it is true that his value judgment will have no tangible influence on this company's direction. Faust is in agreement. Sinners do not have the right to refuse their mission. That may be true, yet I find it unnecessary to turn away and neglect the suffering conditions that their hearts streaming from the obligation of their mission. Conditions of our heart that perhaps unnecessarily peering into them is how we big suffering. What manner of... Back then, when I lived here in Dongjin, so many choices passed before my eyes. Should I kill that child who was from a different family? Should I even survive? Should I walk past that dying boy, or should I stop to help him? When they were first presented to me, I tried to make a choice, but it didn't take that long for me to realize that my choice meant nothing. So I decided not to choose at all. And that's me as I am now. There were so many wonderful things about joining Limbus Company, but I think my favorite part of the experience was that I was never given a choice. That's That's definitely kinda weird.
어라?
Oh, looks like things haven't gone weirdly quiet around here. That was enough discussion of private matters. There is much ground for us to cover. Let us begin with discussing our plan for the first round. The next morning. There's still some time until we have to leave. What may be the purpose of these scarecrows verily in nocturnal shadows that were at yesternight? Oh well, they're still here. They are training course next to every building where children of this place live. Here, every child of walking, running age all get to play with these dummies. Play, early education is important. Yet how does one play with these dummies? And it appears that this dummy is adorned with a most dashing piece of fashionable for its head. Oh, that's the first dummy I received when I was 7. Back then I thought even dummies could feel pain when struck. Such was the blissful ruminations of all those who were once children. So it is like tradition for kids born here to formally learn how to fight. Oh, not exactly. Well, so this is what grandmother gifted you, big bro. Yep, I don't know how it works though. It must be a doll or effigy for dressing up. Perhaps you could adorn it with some trinkets. Maybe it's got like a guardian spirit that protects your house, Big Burbayo? Oh boy. Here, lame, show you how it's done. Why'd you punch Grandma's gift? Don't you think you're hurting it? Hurting it really now, this wooden thing? It's more than they have to grow up this way if they want to survive. This WTD isn't so bad. This wooden training dummy appears to have been designed and crafted with some precision engineering craftsmanship. We still have some time until departing, so why don't we train using them for a warm-up exercise? I don't want to get all sweaty though. Well, it's not like these things will pose us any danger. I think we can try them out once just to see how we're doing today. Attention, we have orders from the executive manager. From this moment forth, we will put our all into laying our yada yada. Hey, I didn't even give any order. Oh well, it wouldn't hurt to get our old blood pumping now. All forces charge. Are they gonna fight back? Wait, they're gonna fight back! Oh my, that's quite a bit of sinners. I'm just gonna click win rate. Okay, wait, what are all the attacks you guys do? Pinpoint strike, circular roundhouse point strike, circulation roundhouse work strike, and counter. How the hell would these things counter?
그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한 놈이지. 골치 아픈 것들이 고기 조각이 되었군요. 나쁘지 않은 성공.
I've been streaming for a little bit over an hour, but meh, I'll stream till 6, I guess. Or a bit over 6.
끝났습니다.
나라도 그렇게 했을
불쌍하게 울부짖는 건
이만하면 훌륭하군.
좀 투성이네.
골치 아픈
I'm just gonna continue clicking right.
조각이 되었군요, 단테. 나쁘지 않은 성격 안에 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요. 딴데 조금 급한 조치였습니다.
할만하네.
And Charlie got through the house. I got a... Charlie!
배연의 춤 건만예그
골치 아픈 것들이 고기 조각이 되었군요. 딴테 나쁘지 않은 성과입니다.
And I have returned once again to continue fighting a bunch of dummies with win rate.
시동 걸어볼까?
Gotta love win rate.
그렇지.
이 거리는 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
얼간이들이 흥겨워하는군. 대체로 저럴 때는 이유가 있는 법입니다. 이유를 잡아 좁혀보시죠.
관찰은 끝났습니다. 이제 끝내지. 약점은 파악했어.
휘청거리긴 단순해서 좋고
Oh, last one.
수감자. 물론 좋은 성과를 갖고 돌아온다면 달고 짭짤한
So
건
everyone can use their egos.
시동 걸어볼까?
여행엔 목적이 있었지.
Wait a second, I'm actually using this ego for its purpose. I think it does more damage to staggered opponents.
그림자가 그들을 덮었습니다. 청소부가
Okay.
다가오고 날이 밝으면
Well,
죽은 자의 흔적을 찾으려는 자들이 와도 아무것도 알 수 없을 것입니다. 볕이 들면 그림자는 거두어지므로.
well, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you for coming. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.